Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So just over the last week, we have now seen Bitcoin rally about 10%. Okay, this coming from XRP Crypto Wolf, bringing us this ProCoin news article. In the past few weeks, the data shows that Bitcoin has actually outperformed many other assets, including stocks and indexes. Bitcoin has increased by approximately 12% in the last week, while the stock market has stagnated and decreased a few percentage points. So we were seeing this correlation over the last year with traditional stock markets and the crypto market. And there are a lot of proponents that were suggesting that no, crypto is now correlated to regular markets because we are starting to see bigger players get in, and for many other reasons too. The whole idea before was that Bitcoin was going to be a hedge against traditional markets, and so when we started to see that correlation, that idea kind of got turned on its head. But now we are seeing Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin in particular, rally 10%. While traditional markets are still remaining relatively flat and actually even losing some ground. So in the last week, Bitcoin was trading up here at around 20,500 per coin. And now, as of the time of this recording, we're seeing about 11.86%. So roughly 12%. Bitcoin did go as high overnight to 23,300, and that would bring Bitcoin up about 13.25%. Yesterday, I was talking about this trend here and how we were basically moving sideways, just kind of chopping sideways. And, wondering what was going to happen next. I mean, there was a lot of signs to suggest that Bitcoin volume was increasing, a lot of buying pressure. Altcoins were also rallying. And then so what did we end up seeing? We ended up seeing a push to the upside for Bitcoin, again, topping out above $23,000. Right now, it is just a smidge above $23,000 at $23,004, right over there on the dot. So market is up over $1 trillion yet again. And take a look at this, guys. Bitcoin dominance is actually climbing. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is up 9%. We've got Ethereum up 6.17. What other altcoins here? We've got BNB coin 5.14, XRP here in number 4 spot at 4.39% or 4.44. I mean, it's constantly fluctuating, but a lot of market gainers here. For altcoins, Bitcoin also kind of setting the trend. This is generally what we see at the beginning of a bull market. And Solana, take a look at this, guys. Solana ripping back to 19.07%. And H-bar, I'm so glad I ended up buying that H-bar at the end of December because H-bar has also been, well, it's been trending on Twitter, first of all, but it has also been ripping to the upside. Right now, it's trading at about 7 cents, just over 7 cents. And since early January, late December, early January, it is up 103%. So those who have purchased H-bar have now doubled their money. Let's bring up XRP, guys. Even XRP is up after chopping sideways for a bit, albeit not by much. Although since yesterday, XRP is even up over 5% since I recorded yesterday's video. It did go as high as 41.6. Right now, it's trading just at about 41 cents. So when certain coins are doing well, the FUD pieces come out. This was a FUD piece identified by Matthew Liny here on Twitter, a FUD piece against XRP, but they're kind of masking it. Locked tokens like XRP will eventually be used for liquidity, while others will be held as strategic reserves. So first of all, this is from thebitcoinist.com, so we got to make note of that, of course. Token Unlock, a platform that uses on-chain data to track vested tokens and inform users of upcoming unlock events, issued a 2022 annual report today showing the highest estimated lock value tokens per the current market price. And the report showed that XRP number 1 by leaps and bounds right over here at $17.9 billion, followed by Filecoin, which is in number 2 spot at $4.9 billion, and the list is down here. Of the top 15 estimated unlocks, 2 are relatively equal to $1 billion, while 7 are worth more than $1 billion, and 6 remain below the $1 billion value. According to the report, XRP is currently the highest valued token lockup. The report shows about $17.9 billion worth of XRP still locked up in the XRP protocol. So obviously, they're talking about the escrow here. Is this good? Is this bad? I mean, they are positing this as a negative thing. Of course, we know why there is XRP locked up. And I know some people have differing opinions on whether it should be burnt, whether it should be kept locked up. I mean, there's going to be the real value added once the ecosystem is up and running. There's a reason for the escrow, right? But these guys are reporting that this is actually a negative thing. I think it's down here that they mentioned that the annual report identified XRP as the token with the highest unlocked potential this year, since XRP has a $17.9 billion value locked in tokens, which are set to enter the market. It will unlock over 4 times more tokens than the second ranked token Filecoin. And then down here, these unlocks have a potentially harmful effect on XRP and FIL and similar tokens. Investors can sell more assets with more tokens in circulation, effectively capping any upside potential. So, I mean, if you're just looking at those metrics, I can see where they can get away with claiming that. Nevertheless, there's so much more involved in this. And again, just a FUD piece to get people scared. Of course, all tokens are going to rally. And once we get the clarity for XRP, we've got to remember that clarity is really going to push a FOMO pump, I think, for XRP moving forward. So a lot of money will be flooding into XRP once we hear that. Nevertheless, wanted to thank Matt for posting that. Crypto Eddie also posting this with regards to Stellar. Now, some great news here for, not just the overall sentiment of clarity in the United States, but also for the Stellar network. Stellar has just joined the CFTC's Global Markets Advisory Committee as one of 4 crypto organizations. So now they've joined the United States Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or the CFTC Global Markets Advisory Committee. The blockchain announced in its blog the committee is preparing to meet on February the 13th for the first time in over a year. SDF supports the Stellar blockchain, which is used for crypto fiat transfers. The foundation will be represented by the committee by Chief Operating Officer Jason Chilpala. He wrote in a company blog that we hope to bring the unique perspective of layer 1 protocols to the GMAC, and as part of the committee, SDF, not to be confused with SBF, this is the Stellar Development Foundation, will highlight the role of stablecoins in the digital assets market and real-world use cases, including leveraging stablecoins in the delivery of humanitarian aid. So this is the latest news coming out of the Stellar Foundation, and here's the tweet here from Jason Chalpala, excited to represent Stellar on the CFTC's Global Markets Advisory Committee and help ensure the conversation includes a blockchain point of view. So, historically we've seen Ripple kind of, taking up a lot of these spots. Of course, Ripple cannot be on every board, but, this is a sign, guys. This is a sign of the companies to be paying attention to. Ripple, Stellar, just to name a few, the coins that are going to solve problems. Crypto Eddie even mentions it here. Stellar is the only blockchain representative. They've joined JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and BlackRock, and now they're on the CFTC Global Markets Advisory Committee, highlighting the stablecoin role, with remittances being one of the brightest spots in crypto today. One of the most critical applications will indeed be stablecoins. So some great news there. Wanted to thank her for posting that. Also wanted to mention this. Some shocking news, maybe not so shocking actually, from Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed. Damn, security incident as car rams into barricades outside of the home of SBF's parents. So don't want to talk about this in too much detail, but SBF's parents' house apparently has been targeted. Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyer said the ex-crypto mogul and his parents have been subjected to harassment and threats. This includes a recent security incident at his parents' Bay Area home. 3 unknown men drove into the metal barricade outside the home. And so the story is still unfolding. I will let you guys know if there are any more updates on this. I just thought I would bring this up because, people have lost money and they are not happy. I mean, even though the market is ripping to the upside, we got to remember that we're still quite a few people that bought in 2021 and are probably down on their portfolio. And I really do hope people are taking this opportunity, or were taking this opportunity, to buy when the market was down in and around here. I was mentioning it even coming into the summer. I thought to myself, summer going to be a time of accumulation, not just for XRP, but for all the coins that hold true value. I mean, for all cryptocurrencies for that matter. But if we discount the crap coins, discount the coins that are just gambling casino coins, focus on the coins that have value, this was a great opportunity to buy. And I made a point this time around to let you guys know every single position that I bought up. And there weren't a lot, but, I was accumulating more. I still had some stacks. I did not sell any XRP. Was still waiting for those $10 to $15 price points in the last run. Obviously, that didn't happen, so we had to readjust. Nevertheless, guys, this is another opportunity to make money. So I wanted to thank Wheezy for posting that. Fred Rispoli here posting this, all right? I agree that there are likely the highest level of negotiations going on right now, and settlement is possible like any day, okay? So focusing on the Ripple SEC lawsuit, he was retweeting out Bill Morgan's tweet here. Plenty of room in that for flexibility in settlement negotiations. I don't get the pessimism about settlement not happening before a decision on summary judgment. Brad's recent comments are messaging and posturing. They must be about to start serious talk. So he posted that on January the 20th, and Fred Rispoli responding here. He still is leaning towards summary judgment decision or a summary judgment decision happening first for many reasons. One being after seeing Nexo, so that is kind of another flashing beacon of warning right now in the crypto sphere. Nexo, EOS, and BlockFi settlements with the SEC. There is no compelling reason for the SEC to not settle with Ripple, move on, and keep present state of case law ambiguous. So this is Fred Rispoli's interpretation of this. To me, now that 2 years of litigation is in the rearview mirror, all signs point to the SEC really, really, really wanting to get a court decision. So a possibility there, a la Markets and Events wrote this: cheers to all the legal brains for the constant updates over the last 2 years or so. And then just tagging James K. Filan, John Deaton, attorney Jeremy Hogan, at Balasarius 2020, Crypto Law US, and Gary Gensler. You should look at these gentlemen for legal guidance and a faithful allegiance to the law. I want a ruling. Maybe I'm completely off, but Torres, maybe I'm completely off. But Torres is like the kind of judge who has a very low tolerance for BS and isn't afraid to issue bold rulings and call a spade a spade. Well, I guess we will figure that out soon. Some people responding to this, somebody also mentioned the fact that there was a precedent set by the IRS. They called XRP a currency way back, I think it was in 2015, but don't quote me on that. I did a video on that a while ago. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll link that up here in the top right-hand corner. Frito here, though, posting this, okay? Haven't had a chance to read up on the implications, but it's saying crypto and XRP are not securities. And Fred Rispoli did respond here. So don't get your hopes up. This was complicated for me to cross-reference, but I do think the IRS is just saying crypto is not a publicly traded security that escapes appraisal requirement. It remains a covered security under the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act. And then he posts the related documentation to that. So that's an interesting point. I mean, companies historically have not been afraid to invest in Ripple. As a matter of fact, this German VC company actually invested in Ripple in anticipation of its IPO. I think it was about a year ago now, Brad Garlinghouse was saying, we won't be the first, we certainly won't be the last company in the crypto space to launch an IPO, although that still hasn't happened. We have heard murmurings that it will happen after we get clarity from the lawsuit. This one from DJ Peter Vass, though, the German VC company invests in Ripple, and I was hoping this was going to be a large amount of money. Unfortunately, it's just a $100,000 investment. According to the company's statement, it made a $100,000 investment in Ripple via a special purpose vehicle, or an SPV, a legal entity created to allow investors under a certain threshold to pool funds together in a single entity. Notably, it is not initially a direct investment. However, TokenTus CEO Oliver Michel, who is TokenTus is the company that invested, reveals that when Ripple goes public via an initial public offering, the SPV will be dissolved and its Ripple shares will be transferred to TokenTus clients. TokenTus chief asserted that the firm's investment would put it in a good position in anticipation of Ripple's IPO. So they are focusing on Ripple as a company, a great opportunity for growth. And, even myself, I'm waiting for this Ripple IPO to hit the market for that long-term investment. That would be something that I would invest in my retirement savings plan for the long term, 20, 30 years from now. It might actually replace or probably a better complement to my crypto indexes that I do have in my retirement savings plan. Here's a quote, guys. In our opinion, Ripple is among the most established and significant companies in the blockchain space. According to the company, an IPO is planned in perspective, in which we naturally want to be an investor. As part of its IPO, the SPV would be dissolved and the shares of Ripple would be registered and directly transferred to TokenTus. This puts us in a good position. So TokenTus obviously sees the value in Ripple, and so they understand where this is going. On top of which, we just got to look at the obvious here. This from John Deaton. When people ask me which crypto companies do I believe are going to be around 5 to 10 years from now, I always ask, who's hiring during this crypto winter? amidst all these bankruptcies. And you just got to focus on those companies that are still around, that are still even thriving. And so, Ripple is one company, Stellar's another. I love this company too. Supply chain management on the blockchain. This one from the Cryptic Poet, VeChain, to launch multi-chain data bridges and asset lending platforms later this year. So some VeChain news here that's looking very promising. The new roadmap shows how companies that use VET tech will be superior in 2023 and beyond. Enterprise smart contract blockchain platform VeChain has been at the forefront of some of the key developments taking place recently in the market. Much recently, the development team at VeChain unveiled a full roadmap for 23 and 24. In its new announcement, the VeChain Foundation noted that the project's developers are planning to work on a carbon footprint explorer during the first half of 2023. Some other projects that would be additionally working on are Ethereum token bridge and a wallet browser extension. So these guys are already, letting the public know about some of the projects that they're working on in the next couple of years. Obviously, their partners are going to benefit from this technology. And this is what all the crypto companies really want, right? The ones that are around to solve problems, they want their clients to benefit because they want, positive publicity, word of mouth. They want their competition to realize, hey, look, these guys are using VeChain, for example. These guys are using Ripple for cross-border payments or whoever. So we need to step up our game. We need to jump on board. And this is what creates ecosystems and what creates more value for all of these different types of cryptocurrencies. VeChain, not one of the WEF coins. It's a bit of an outlier for me. Although, I do see the potential for this particular coin, even just in the last less than a month, let's say 3 weeks, VeChain is even up 45%. So VeChain also seeing a burst of activity. And so great news here. Wanted to thank the Cryptic Poet for posting that. In yesterday afternoon's video, I talked a little bit about XRP and how the Fed really has a good grasp on XRP utility using Volpe and Volante technologies. If you guys didn't catch that video, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Well, Matthew Lany posted this. Congratulations, Volante Technology, for winning Best Wholesale Payment Solution. These are the guys that leverage Ripple, and these are also the guys who are going to power Fedwire later this year. This payment technology allows companies like Goldman Sachs and BP Mellon to have access to XRP settlement for cross-border transactions like RTGS, Bulk Instant, and ACH. So like he says here, BNY Mellon, Goldman Sachs, also partners of Volante Technologies. And it was just announced last week, Volante Technologies, the leading global provider of cloud payments and financial messaging solutions to accelerate digital transformation, has won Best Wholesale Payment Solution Provider for 2022. So, this is the latest news for Volante. Obviously, I'm not surprised that a Ripple-enabled company did win this award. And so positive news here for not just Volante, but for the XRPL, the crypto ecosystem XRP, that is going to directly benefit from these types of announcements because we know XRP is going to be utilized more and more. Once these companies start using it and once their competition is finally faced with this, but of course, commodity, security, this is where we're at in the United States, at least, not in the rest of the world, but in the US, this is still the big question. And David Schwartz has come out and he's actually given his opinion on why XRP is in fact a commodity and not a security. So this one courtesy of Ian Binns. David Schwartz has come out. He said he took to Twitter to explain why XRP meets the definition of a commodity. And so, this is the biggest, this is the contestation with regards to the Ripple SEC case. I figured I'd just bring up the tweet thread here because he was having a discussion with JV. He actually responded to this tweet. Let's take Apple for the sake of your example. Before they went public and became established, if Apple created a capped amount of iPhones, let's call it 100 million iPhones, used the profits from the sales of those iPhones as revenue to build up Apple and promised efforts to get it adopted and raise its value, while putting 50 million of those iPhones on the market to be traded for investors, while Apple sell on the same market for its revenue, do you all honestly believe that that would be okay? Or are you going to continue to try to make excuses and comparisons due to your biases and create examples while leaving out certain aspects surrounding Ripple and XRP? So he's being critical here, and he's using kind of an interesting analogy because iPhones have utility. If they did the same thing with iPhones, I could see his point to a degree. He goes on to say, like I said, a settlement that allows Ripple to carry on with no changes opens up a whole new world of problems. Well, David Schwartz responded here, what problems do you foresee from a ruling that says a sale of a commodity with no post-sale obligations for the seller to the buyer is not an investment contract? And he writes here, if the judge rules in a way that clearly articulates that Ripple sales are not security transactions, then it's fair game. But I don't see that coming from Gary. Also, I believe that with that type of ruling, she must fully break down how XRP constitutes a commodity. And David Schwartz's response here, XRP is a raw good that trades in commerce, and one XRP is treated as equivalent to every other XRP. That's pretty much the definition of a commodity. No part of XRP's value comes from anyone else's legal obligations to XRP holders. So boom goes the dynamite. And this is the biggest contested point here. The security aspect to it, the SEC is really trying hard to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't pass. And if they lose this precedent, that could mean something huge for the rest of the industry. And this is why, we're talking about settlement. We're talking about a negotiation where both parties will likely not get 100% what they want. And a good example of what could happen, which got a lot of experts agreeing, was a video I did last week. And I'll link it up here if you guys want to look at another perspective with regards to settlement. If you guys didn't catch that video, I think, though, at the end of the day, if XRP was so clearly a security, FinCEN and the DOJ would not call it a currency, which, of course, they have. Global governments would not call it a currency. Top banks and institutions like MIT would not call it a currency. Judge Netburn would not have said its utility distinguished it from Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's another big point here. If XRP was so clearly a security, 3 former SEC officials wouldn't have spoken out against the case, and the case would have been brought much sooner. If XRP was so clearly a security, Jed McCaleb would have been restricted from selling his, and Ripple would not have been encouraged by the very SEC that's suing them to sell more XRP to fund their legal defense. So let's not forget, all this stuff has happened, and it cannot be ignored. If XRP was so clearly a security, 13 plus amicus would not have joined the Ripple SEC case. If XRP was so clearly a security, the SEC would have stopped its employees from trading it prior to 2018 and would have issued a no-action letter to Ripple or sought an injunction against them. If XRP was a security, the SEC wouldn't have been confused about its status right up to 2020. So clearly, XRP is not a security. I rest my case. So thanks so much to Ashley Prosper for sharing this. A great, little tie-up to this video. David Schwartz obviously doesn't think it's a security, has made it very clear that XRP falls into the commodity category. I tend to agree, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.